Hello. Uh, Hi everyone. I'm Sandeep Kata and I'm going to present my assignment for event-driven computing, a GPS tracker with a GUI built with a functional reactive programming using the sodium library and switches. So this application demonstrates FRP principles by displaying live GPS events from 10 trackers, and it also applies geographic filtering tracks with trackers are in range versus out of range and calculates the distance traveled by each tracker over a 5 minute sliding window. So the key FRP primitives I'm using are map for transformation, snapshots to capture cell values, filter to remove out of range events, and if we see here map, so as I said, and hold to maintain state and account for the sliding window or else to merge streams and lift to combine multiple cells. So let me show you how to run and walk through all the features. So say opened it. To run this program, these are the basic requirements are Java 11, and then like I use Gradle, and also the foremost thing is like the GPS date file. So it must be in the project root, I mean, in the libraries for sorry in the SRC folder, and like from terminal we can give Gradle clean build, and yeah, now Gradle run. So as we all can see, like there are 10 trackers, so tracker 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and like we have trackers in range and trackers out of range. So this is the GUI layout. Actually at the top we have a restriction controls where you can set the center latitude and longitude, and the current restriction is shown here. It creates a bounding box of plus or minus 1 degree around the center point. On the left side we have uh, I mean we have two dynamic things actually, so which are trackers out of range, and this list shows trackers in range and trackers out of range. So these lists update reactively as GPS events arrive and as we change the restriction. In the center, there is a grid showing all 10 tracker displays. Each panel shows the current latitude and longitude for the tracker. Notice that there is no altitude displayed. That's been removed through an FRP map transformation from the original GPS events. And at the bottom, we have distance traveled and which displays for each tracker. These shows the total distance traveled over the last 5 minutes. It calculated by using 3D coordinates and only counting events that fall within the current restriction. On the right, we have the most recent event panel, shows the last event from any tracker, and it automatically clears after 3 seconds of an activity. So below that, we have a combined filter output, shows the most recent event that falls within the current geographic restrictions. So like this is the basic GUI require. I guess I have covered all the aspects as per the assignment requirement. And yeah, like I'll restart and then I'll recapture so you will get some idea. Yeah, so the events are changed now, and like no events in track panels actually. And now you can see the latitude and longitude appear here while the other still shows no events. Now these are being updated, and like how can I say, like let's say let me change the center latitude, like uh, like if we see 0 to 1 2 trackers are updating, let's say from 39.95 the values are updating, like it's keep on value, I mean that's how the values are updating, and these might require timing, so yeah. And like let's say like I am currently using the basing restrictions. So if we see, it was 39.99, which was a default thing, and for center longitude I used 116.3. So this is how I done. And like they are populated based on the current basing restrictions, and trackers 0 1 2 3 5, I mean everything are in range because they are located outside this area, sorry, because their coordinates fall within the bounding box, and trackers 4 7 8 are out of range because they are located outside this area. So these lists updates dynamically using FRP snapshot and filter operations. So every time we use a GPS event arrives, like we snapshot the capture restrictions, check if the coordinates are within the bounds, and update each other trackers in range status. So the left primitive then combines all 10 Boolean values into these readable lists. So the combined filtered output panel on the right only shows events from in-write trackers, demonstrating the filters in actions. So coming to the actions, it will be like point to yeah, that's how it works. And then like for distance calculations, so let's go to distance panel. Like uh, the distance panel at the bottom shows like real-time distance calculations for each tracker over a 5 minute sliding window. So like notice that the distance for in-range trackers like 0 1 2 5 and 6 are increasing as new GPS events arrive, and the distance for tracker 4 remains at 0 or very low because it's out of range. And uh, events outside the restrictions don't contribute to the distance calculations basically. And the distance formula calculates latitude and longitude degrees to meters using approximately 11,320 meters per degree of latitude. So longitude is adjusted by the cosine of the latitude to account for the Earth's curvature. So this uses the accum FRP primitive with a distant state accumulator that maintains a history of time-stamped events. And so every second, a periodic refresh stream triggers the removal of events older than 5 minutes, and the distance is recalculated from the remaining points in the window. So yeah, and now like if you go to a restrictions model, I'll change the restriction to an area with no trackers, latitude 0 and longitude 0. So if we see with no restrictions type 0 in latitude field, you can see that the in range becomes, are becoming null one by one, and then that every trackers are in out of range list. So the combined filter output changes to no events in range actually. And most importantly, if you look at the distance panel, uh, all the distance have stopped increasing because no events fall within this restriction. So now if we fall back to basing area to show the distances, if I keep 39.99 as per the basing, and then 1163.6.3, and then if we do set restriction, so now the trackers are back in range, and you can see the distances are starting to increase again from the previous values. So like this shows that the sliding window state is preserved, and we are not starting from zero but resuming accumulation with the exiting history. And coming to Restriction controls and panels. So let me isolate a single tracker to show precise filtering. Let's say tracker 4 is located in Thailand and around latitude 7.9 and longitude 98.4. So I'll set the restriction to that location. So